The all-new third-generation Toyota Tundra is finally here. And when I say all-new, I mean it. Toyota has reimagined their full-size truck from the ground up. Now, I'm here in this room, which is above an ice rink, so it's pretty cold in here, but let's take a look. The Tundra's exterior was designed in America for the American truck owner. Things I love: the headlight integration, the profile. I like these arches that mimic the wheel arches, just like in the Tacoma. The blacked out A Pilar looks killer, and the integrated light bar and that red interior on the TRDPro. As much as I like how the design has morphed and the truck has more of a squared off feeling, I'm gonna say I'm not really a huge fan of the maximum grille. Yes, the good thing is it's all open, so it's all used for cooling, but this is a design fad that I cannot wait for its moment to be over. Design aside, probably the thing most truck folks are interested in is what's underneath all this sheet metal. Yes, Toyota has moved away from the 5.7-liter V8 to a twin-turbo V6, but with it, you get two options. The base 3.5-liter 6 makes more power than the previous V8, and though gas mileage numbers aren't available, the V6 should be less of a guzzler. There's also a mild hybrid version that Toyota calls the iForce Max. That gets power numbers into impressive territory. This engine's going to get a Sport and a Sport Plus mode, which means using that hybrid system should make for impressive initial acceleration. With the base engine, the Tundra gets a maximum towing capacity of 12,000 pounds and a max payload capacity of 1,940 pounds. I can't wait to see how all of this comes together when I drive it and we're not hovering over an ice rink. Camera guy just made a bad joke about frozen Tundra. We'll drive it soon. Both engine options pair with a 10-speed automatic transmission. Whoa, guys, that's like so many more gears than before. You're going to have a lot more range to play with, and those higher cruising gears should also help with gas mileage numbers. The new fully boxed ladder frame, which should offer more rigidity, gets a bit wider in the rear to improve stability and help with that greater towing number. They've used aluminum throughout the body to help reduce weight, and cross members are twice as big. So all of this means stronger and more durable, but it also contributes to a better handling truck. You know what? That sounds like something you would want. Abandoning a leaf spring suspension seems to be all the truck rage these days. The F-150 Raptor just did it, and the Tundra follows suit. Now there's a multi-link setup in the rear with coils. There's a new double wishbone in front, so technically, this new Tundra should have a much better ride quality than its predecessor. So that new rear setup means that the Tundra can also be outfitted with an air suspension that is load adjusting. So it will change ride heights depending on what you're doing, how fast you're doing it, and how much load you're carrying. If you're doing some off-roading, then the TRD Off-Road package ratchets things up for you with monotube Bilstein shocks, as well as terrain select, crawl control, and a locking rear diff. TRDPro gets 2.5-inch diameter internal bypass Fox shocks, which lift the truck a little bit over an inch and are going to make it more comfortable and give the rear end more control when you're going over more difficult terrain like whoops or washboard. While we're on the subject, let's look at some cool dude driving in B-roll footage to tell you that the TRDPro also gets a new front stabilizer bar and an extra skid plate up front and all-terrain Falcon tires. And there will be new features including those multi-terrain modes, hill descent control, and an off-road cruise control so drivers can focus more on their steering. Hey, it's another awesome chap demonstrating the Tundra's trailer back guidance and straight path assist. Those are two systems that will help with towing maneuvering, and the 360-degree camera views that are optional will make both towing and off-road driving even safer and easier. Like the Tacoma, the truck bed is made of sheet-molded composite and reinforced with aluminum for strength. There are 2 4-door cab options and 3 bed lengths available on the Tundra. And hey, the CrewMax can now get the longer 6.5-foot bed. 2x4 and 4x4 options, of course, are available as well. What's not available yet? Pricing and fuel economy numbers. But we should have those closer to when the Tundra goes on sale later this year. Tundra trim options include the base SR, the SR5, Limited, Platinum, and 1794. that's the super fancy one. And then, of course, the TRDPro. Each of those gets its own unique grille treatment. You can get a TRD off-road package starting on the SR5, Limited, and 1794, and that includes some of those off-road goodies I was mentioning earlier.
So that pretty much covers the outside, but what does the inside look like on this sucker? Hey, it looks pretty modern in here. Let's start with the all-important touchscreen. So the Tundra comes standard with an 8-inch version, but you can get this Godzilla 14-inch optional screen as well. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto both come standard, so it looks like Toyota's starting to embrace the fact that people just want to use their own phones. Also, there's a volume knob, so some old school things remain, which is really good. But when I touch this volume knob, I'm kind of brought to the attention of all of the switchgear, which this is the limited version, and God, you guys, it all feels really super plasticky. One other thing that I'm not really crazy about is this seat cooler sounds like a huge wind machine. Makes a lot of noise. Can you hear that? That's noisy.
Good to note that yes, these trucks are still pre-production, so we'll see if those items get finessed a bit. Toyota's new multimedia interface is based on the one from Lexus and features a voice-activated system. You just say, "Hey Toyota," and you ask for what you need.
Hey Toyota,
what can I do for you?
Find me a steakhouse.
I found 15 results. The first is Perry's Steakhouse and Grill at Parkwood Boulevard.
Oh, we're in
Would
Texas.
you like to go to that one?
No thanks.
There's also an available 12.3-inch fully digital gauge cluster. What am I loving about the interior? I love how the touchscreen is integrated into the center stack. The center console isn't just one massive cave, but like a great bag has some smaller compartments, so you don't have to fish around. Though, again, the materials seem a bit on the cheap side here. And the power rear window is awesome. All Tundras get Toyota's Safety Sense 2.5 standard. Yep, all of them. I'm glad that the truck segment is joining the modern safety era and providing some of those features without charging extra. Toyota's trucks are finally embracing the future. You hear that, 4Runner? My initial take, the new Tundra looks good, like it's caught up to everyone else, finally. However, with the others out there doing a lot of innovating, yes, I'm looking at you, Ram 1500 and Ford F-150, just playing catch up might not be enough. Because let's face it, it won't be that long until Toyota's worthy competitors get a refresh.
So I know that is a lot to cover in a first look, and I'm gonna have way more to talk about when I drive the Toyota Tundra next month. And hopefully that won't be over an ice rink. Or you know what? I don't know, that sounds kind of fun.